Hi everyone, this is me Anwesha Choudhury, the student from class 10. Today I will be representing a seminar on the topic the circulatory system. I would like to thank Father George Joseph and Miss Pushpalata Chaurasia for providing me support and for guiding me throughout this process. So today I will be dealing with these contents. So here the process or mechanism of circulation of blood goes on. Firstly, the pumping cycle begins when the oxygen deprived blood or the deoxygenated blood returns from the body through the veins, that is the superior and the inferior vena cava, and pours into the heart's right auricle. When the right auricle is filled with blood, it contracts and the tricuspid valve opens, allowing the blood to flow into the right ventricle. And when the right ventricle has filled with blood, the tricuspid valve closes, as this will prevent the backflow of blood into right atrium. And now the right ventricle contracts, the pulmonary semilunar valve opens, and blood is pumped through the pulmonary artery into the lungs. And there the conversion of deoxygenated blood to oxygenated blood takes place. And then the pulmonary valve closes quickly, preventing the backflow of blood into the right ventricle. Oxygen enriched or oxygenated blood returns from the lungs through the pulmonary veins and now fills the heart's left auricle. The heart's left auricle contracts with another valve, that is bicuspid or mitral valve, and this opens, and the blood is pumped into the left ventricle. As soon as the left ventricle is filled with the blood, the mitral valve closes, as this prevents the blood from flowing back into the left auricle. Now the left ventricle contracts and the aortic semilunar valve opens. The oxygenated blood flows into the aorta and transferred to each and every organ of the body and cell of the body via the blood circulating system. And then the aortic semilunar valve closes quickly to prevent backflow of blood into the left ventricle. At the same time, new contraction takes place in right atrium and the process goes on. So, these are the blood vessels which are involved in hepatic portal system. The first blood vessel is hepatic artery, which brings the oxygenated blood from the aorta to the liver. Next is hepatic portal vein, which brings deoxygenated blood away from the stomach and intestine and towards the liver. And the blood vessel which leaves the liver is hepatic vein, which carries blood from the liver to the heart. Hepatic portal system. All the portal veins which carry their contents into liver collectively constitute hepatic portal system. Portal veins are the veins that starts with capillaries and ends in capillaries. There are some following steps which are briefly describe the hepatic portal system. The first step, products of digestion are absorbed into the capillaries within the villi of the small intestine. The second step, digested food molecules then travel through hepatic portal veins towards the liver. Third step, the liver monitors blood contents. The fourth and the final step, hepatic veins deliver blood to the circulatory system. There are some significance of the hepatic portal system. It monitors the glucose level in blood, it detoxifies of substances which are absorbed in the blood, and it reduces burden on the heart. Let's discuss first about blood. Blood is a bright red when it is oxygenated and dark red when it is deoxygenated colored fluid. It forms about 8 to 10% of the body weight of a vertebrate. It is saltish in taste and slightly alkaline. The pH value is 7.4 in nature. It is heavier than water and it's a sticky fluid. It always keeps on circulating through the blood vessels. The heart pumps blood into arteries which carry it to the various organs. After exchange of various materials within the organs, it is returned back to the heart through veins. Composition of blood. Blood has two main components: plasma, which is a fluid part, and formed elements, which is basically blood corpuscles. Plasma has water, which is present nearly of 90%, blood proteins 7 to 8%, salts, which are presently nearly of 1%, and other substances, which includes food, respiratory gases, hormones, and excretory products. Formed elements. In the category of formed elements, there are three types of blood corpuscles. The first is the red blood corpuscles, which is also known as the erythrocytes. The second is the white blood corpuscles, which is also known as the leukocytes. And the third, which is the platelets, which is also known as thrombocytes. Leukocytes is further classified into two categories: agranulocytes and granulocytes. Agranulocytes has two main types: monocytes and lymphocytes. And granulocytes has three main types: acidophils, basophils, and neutrophils. Let us understand about all these blood components in detail. Plasma. Blood plasma is the fluid part of the blood. It contains water, inorganic salts, proteins, etc. It helps for transporting of gases, nutrients, regulates body heat, and maintains the blood pH. Let's discuss about red blood cells. Red blood cells are basically circular and bioconcave or disc-like structure in shape from the side. It do not contain nucleus. This cell contains hemoglobin and thus it is red in color. It helps for transporting of oxygen from lungs to tissues. Hemoglobin which carries oxygen and thus it forms oxyhemoglobin. They also help in transporting carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. Hemoglobin which carries carbon dioxide and it forms carbaminohemoglobin. The process by which red blood cells are formed is called erythropoiesis. White blood cells. White blood cells are generally round or irregular in shape. They have a distinct nucleus. The cells are basically colorless and do not contain hemoglobin. They destroy harmful germs and bacteria by engulfing them in the process of phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is a process in which leukocytes or white blood corpuscles engulf harmful microbes and prevent body from diseases. It is formed in white bone marrow. White blood cells are essential for good health and protection for illness or any kind of disease. They flow through the bloodstream and attack over foreign bodies like viruses and bacteria. Platelets. Platelets are irregular in shape and generally small cell. They do not have nucleus. These cells are colorless. Hemoglobin is absent and it helps in blood clotting and also in controlling the bleeding. Wherever a wound occurs, the blood vessel will send out a signal. Platelets receive the signal and travel to that particular area where the wound has taken place and transform into their active formation by growing a long tentacles so that they can make contact with that ruptured blood vessel and can form clusters to plug the wound until it heals. Functions of blood. Transport of digested food like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, mineral salts, etc. Transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Transport of metabolic waste. Transportation of hormones and transportation of heat. Let's discuss about second type of fluid, that is the tissue fluid. Cells are surrounded by fluid called tissue fluid. Tissue fluids helps in exchange of substances, which is gives oxygen and other substance to cell and takes away the carbon dioxide. let us discuss the last part of this seminar, that is the lymphatic system. The network of fine lymph vessels, lymph nodes and lymph circulating through them is called lymphatic system. Lymph, which is the third fluid part of the human body. It is colorless or light yellow fluid as it lacks of hemoglobin, which imparts red color to the blood. Lymph lacks red blood cells and platelets. Lymph contains fewer blood proteins. More of waste matter, increased amount of food material and large number of white blood cells. Lymph flows in one direction, that is from tissues towards the heart. Lymph contains a special type of white blood cells which is called lymphocytes. Since lymph bathes the cells and lies outside the cell, it is also called extracellular fluid. Important terms related to lymphatic system. Reticular tissue. It is a type of connective tissue with a network of reticular fibers made up of collagen. Reticular connective tissue forms a scaffolding for other cells in several organs such as lymph nodes and bone marrow. Ducts. It is a unscrambled channel leading from an exocrine gland or organ. Lacteal. It is a lymphatic capillary that absorbs dietary fats in the villi of the small intestine. The function of reticular tissue involves they absorb and transport a large number of molecules, that is fats and lipids, in the digestive system, mainly in the form of lipoproteins. Functions of lymph. It makes the nutrient available to place where blood can't reach. It drains off excessive tissue fluid and metabolites. It also returns proteins back to blood. Lacteals located in intestinal villi absorbs fats from intestine. Lymphocytes and monocytes protects body against pathogens. Lymph vessels. The lymph capillaries join to form the lymphatic vessels. The structure of lymph vessels are like veins. It has thin walls and various valves. The lymphatic vessels, which are small in size, join together to form larger vessels and further divided into two main lymphatic ducts, the right lymphatic duct and the thoracic duct. The right lymphatic duct, where the lymph return to the bloodstream at the part where the veins join the lymph vessels. With the help of a single major vessel, that is the thoracic duct, all the lymph is collected from the entire left side of the body, the digestive tract, and the right side of the lower body part. Lymph nodes. In lymph vessels, there are enlargements at specific points, just like beads in a string. These enlargements are known as lymph nodes. In lymph nodes, reticular tissues are present which contain lymphocytes, plasma cells and macrophages. The lymph is filtered through the lymph nodes. The macrophages remove microbes and foreign particles from the lymph. The lymph nodes are mostly present in neck, armpits and groin. Tonsil and masses are the masses of lymphatic tissues. Thymus, tonsils and spleen are some of the important lymphatic organs. So, the lymphatic organs which included are bone marrow. It is a sponge-like tissue which is found in the bones. Thymus. The thymus is located behind the breastbone above the heart. Lymph nodes. These are small bean-shaped tissues which are found along the lymphatic vessels. Spleen, tonsils and mucous membranes. Tonsils. Tonsils are two small oval-shaped masses of lymphatic tissue located at the back and on the both sides of the throat. Functions of tonsils include it traps the germs, that is bacteria or viruses, and it prevents which can be inhaled or swallowed. It produces WBCs, that is the white blood cells and antibodies, and kills the germs and help to prevent the throat and lung infection. Spleen. Spleen is large lymphatic organ, size of clenched fist.
reddish brown in color, situated in abdomen behind stomach and above left kidney. Function of spleen include: it acts as a blood reservoir which provides blood during stress and carbon monoxide poisoning. It produces lymphocytes. It destroys worn out red blood cells along with liver. It makes the red blood cells in embryo.
Lastly, I would like to conclude this class with a positive quote. Taking care of yourself is the best thing you can ever do for yourself. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time throughout the seminar. Thank you for watching and have a great day.